Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel of Ecoholics. So today we are going to discuss one very important topic, demand and consumer behavior. But let me tell you, my dear students, today there is going to be a twist around it. So demand and consumer behavior is that one topic which you start doing whenever you start your preparation for microeconomics. So if you're thinking, okay, I'm going to study my microeconomics from today, this is the first topic that you're going to do because it is the most important base for microeconomics. It is one very important portion when it comes to the microeconomics examination. So today in this video, if you are an economics student and especially if you're preparing for upcoming MA entrance examination, such as CUET PG Economics 2026, GATE Economics 2026, IIT JAM Economics 2026. This video is very important for you because I am going to tell you that why this module is very important, what kind of questions do you really expect out of this module, and how heavy in terms of marks, in terms of the questions that appear from this module when it comes to microeconomics. So if you are preparing for any of the examinations which I've mentioned just now, please watch this video till end because it's going to help you a lot in your preparation by strategizing your study time into the right direction. So let's get into this video. All right, now why studying about demand and consumer behavior is very important. The first thing is anyone who is giving CUET PG Economics examination, which is going to happen in 2026 now, IIT JAM Economics, which is going to happen in February 2026. Okay, February 2026, the dates are already out. And then GATE Economics 2026, which is again going to happen in February 2026. Other than that, even if you're preparing for Madras School of Economics, IIFT, ISI entrance, and other multiple individual and independent colleges and universities, then you have to remember that microeconomics is the backbone of your every entrance examination. So you have to understand that when it comes to the subject-wise weightage, microeconomics hold the highest weightage in almost all of the entrance examinations. So when a student comes to me and asks me, ma'am, which all subjects I should never be leaving or which all subjects are there that I can, go and revise in the last 2 to 3 months before the examination, then microeconomics always tops my list. Because not only for entrance examination, but also for your master's duration, when you will go and do your master's, उस time पे भी आपको पढ़ना है. Microeconomics के बिना आपकी master's graduation economics में कुछ नहीं हो सकता. So approximately 30% of your marks come from microeconomics. So if you get your microeconomics correct in your examination, तो 30% marks वहाँ पे save हो जाएंगे. और 30% marks mean a lot when it come to IIT JAM GATE और उसमें top rank लाने के लिए, क्योंकि many times एक या दो number से भी you get behind from the cutoff marks. Or because for IIT JAM, when you want to go and have a seat in IIT Delhi, Roorkee, your rank also matters. So microeconomics is very important. अब microeconomics के अंदर when we talk consumer behavior or demand, सबसे ज़्यादा scoring section है. Why is it more scoring? Because first, questions are very easy, very direct. In comparison to the other syllabus of microeconomics, the concepts are not confusing. So if you do good amount of practice, तो बहुत easily हो जाएगा. In this video ahead, I will also be telling you the sections that you have to, put your focus on कि किस particular section से क्या पढ़ना है. And we'll also be telling you suggested reference books side by side. So questions may you will get theory questions, numerical questions, and graphical interpretation. So very important line to read here is, if you understand how consumers decide, you can decode 1/3 of your entrance paper instantly. So, of course, the entire examination may you will not get 1/3 out of consumer, but it's the saying that if you even get to know what the consumer, how do you have to decide? This line also points out to the thing that if you know how to choose the correct option, you can decode 1/3, because 1/3 of your paper depends upon how easily you can find the correct option in MCQs. The another portions, of course, depend upon your practice and conceptual clarity. Okay, so now let's move forward. Let's see what all we have to do. So the consumer module starts from the basics. The consumer module starts from the basic. So before you quickly directly jump onto the advanced section, always remember that you need to be very good in your basics. So in basics, you have to study law of demand, which tells you that there is a negative relationship between quantity and price. Yes, quantity demanded in the price, and then you have to do elasticity. So in elasticity is that one concept just say at least a minimum of one question is going to come in MCQ. So when you do elasticity, not only just price elasticity, you also have to do income elasticity, cross elasticity, all of these things along with price elasticity. Remember, many times the questions come around the confusion of income elasticity of normal and inferior good. So for a normal good, income elasticity is positive, whereas for inferior good, it is negative. Because when your income increases, the quantity demanded for a normal good will always increase. But when your income increases or decreases, the quantity for inferior good is always going to decrease, because it's an inferior good. Okay. So because for inferior good, the income elasticity is going to be negative, because whenever your income increases, the quantity demanded for inferior good is always going to decrease. So what is cross elasticity? In which we study the effect of price of a substitute over the quantity demanded of another good. So cross price elasticity is going to be positive for substitutes, because when the price of substitute increases, the quantity demanded of other good increases, whereas that is opposite for complements. So you should know about these. The sign of these elasticities should be in your mind at the first go. You should not have to think about them a lot when you're sitting in the examination. From elasticity, you can always expect numerical question where they give you information and they ask you to calculate elasticities. Or second type of questions are interpretation based questions. So in interpretation based questions, they maybe tell you about that this is the value of elasticity. So what do you understand, or which statement is going to be true or false out of it? So if you wish to do, then you can go to our website, which is www.ecoholics.in. If you go there, you can very easily find out IIT JAM PYQ, past year question papers, right? Where you can go through all those papers to understand what kind of questions have come. We also have a special thing for you. We provide segregated question papers. For example, if you go through the question paper, first you will find microeconomics questions, then you find macroeconomics, then you find Indian economy questions, like that. If you wish to get segregated IIT JAM past year papers, feel free to contact us on this number 7880107880. On this number, do a WhatsApp message, directly message us, DM us, saying IIT JAM segregated PYQ. Write this in the message, and you would get that file, which will help you to very easily find out microeconomics associated questions, and you don't have to scroll a lot in a particular question paper. Okay, so these are your basics, and you have to do them because you would expect 1 to 2 questions. belonging to microeconomics from this side. CUET PG mein to you're definitely going to get this from over here. Now the next one is consumer equilibrium. Consumer equilibrium is the question from where you're going to get numerical questions, numericals. Along with that, you're also going to get implication-based question. Implication-based question means the questions where a situation is given and you have to answer accordingly. So when I talk about consumer equilibrium, what concepts should be very clear in your mind? You should know about MRS, the formula of MRS, the interpretation of MRS. You should be very clear with graph of consumer equilibrium. How should you be drawing the IC curve? How will your budget line is going to be tangent? What will be the shape? What will be the the slope of the IC curve? You should know. So over here we know that when we keep moving downward, the MRS is going to decline. So hence the IC curves are convex to origin. You should know the slope of budget line also, because when you draw the IC curve, this is how you draw them. They are convex to origin, but when we draw, the equilibrium is always find where the point is tangent to budget line. So budget line ki slope should be known. You should know when is your budget line going to tilt or when is your budget line going to shift. Shift and tilt is very important in that case. You should know how to solve a utility maximization problem graphically as well as mathematically using the Lagrange method as well. And this should be done for different kind of utility functions. So a homework for you to do is write down the different functions where you have perfect substitutes, perfect complements, then you have a linear linear utility function or Cobb-Douglas one, the direct XY form, and the other various forms of utility functions, and you will write the consumer equilibrium conditions for everyone. So you should know their utility forms, because many times in question you get a paper, you get direct questions such as they give you a utility function and they ask you what is the relationship between the good X and Y. So by having a look at the utility function, you have to tell these are perfect substitutes, these are perfect complements. So direct questions do come. So what is your task for the day? After you watch this video, you have to write different utility functions. You have to write their consumer equilibrium conditions. Okay, that's the second thing that you need to do for your preparation. All right. Now after that, the third module that you have to do is optimization and Lagrange method. That is your mathematical economics portion. So mathematical economics, why are we discussing it here? Many students do what? Mathematical economics is of two types. The first type is where you get questions related to itself in the math section. You get questions related to itself in the math section. So like you get a question from matrices, integration, differentiation, but then the other kind of questions that you get from mathematical economics are linked to micro. For example, an optimization problem is given to you. An optimization problem is given to you where you have to maximize profit, or maybe where you have to maximize, because we are talking about consumer behavior, you have to maximize utility subject to budget constraint. So these type of questions are very important. First, you can solve them using the Lagrange method, where you have to use first order conditions to get the optimized values. Secondly, the homework which I have given you just 2 minutes ago, the task I asked you to do, once you do that, once you remember all the utility forms, function forms, and then you know what is the consumer equilibrium for all those utility functions, the life will become very easy for you. You will, as soon as you see a different kind of utility function, you can very easily know that, okay, I have to equate MRS is equal to the ratio of the prices, and then I have to, find the value of X and Y, which are my optimized quantities of my two goods. So that the task I gave you 2 minutes ago, that will help you to solve the questions from mathematical economics side as well. So optimization, say one numerical, definitely expect, especially in IIT JAM as well as GATE economics paper. So if you will go and pick up GATE, if you will pick up IIT JAM 2025 as well as 2024, you will find good amount of questions coming from this portion. 23, 22 may also they have come, but 25, 24 maybe you will get. And you can get all these question papers on our website. And if you're unable to find, feel free to contact us on this number, share on your screen. Okay, so what kind of questions come? Where you have to solve for optimal bundle, or you have to interpretation of lambda, which is your Lagrangian multiplier. So the value, or basically the interpretation, changes for different optimization problems. So if you go to Sitzetter and Hammond, you will get a complete detailed portion for that, where it is told that when you're maximizing utility, then what is the economic meaning of lambda? That is the marginal utility of money. So like that, when I maximize profit, what is the economic meaning of lambda? So all such things are written in Sitzetter and Hammond. So you can go and follow there. The Lagrange method ke chapter mein you will get this particular portion. So this is important. So two type of questions I have told you from this module as well. अब देखो यहाँ तक आते आते we have done like 4 to 5 type of questions that are definitely going to come. So by doing this way, you can score around 20 marks, like 15-20 marks की average आप save कर सकते हो. आपके marks बच जाएंगे जिसमें गलती नहीं होगी. अब उसके बाद मोस्ट वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट येट वेरी कंफ्यूजिंग टॉपिक से जो क्वेश्चंस आते हैं वो आते हैं प्राइस, इनकम एंड सब्स्टिट्यूशन इफेक्ट. इसमें आके जैसे न्यूमेरिकल आएगा या एक ग्राफिकल क्वेश्चन आएगा केस स्टडी बेस्ड, तो स्टूडेंट्स हो जाते हैं कंफ्यूज. उनको निकालना होता है कि इनकम इफेक्ट कितना है, सब्स्टिट्यूशन इफेक्ट कितना है, और वो गड़बड़ कर ही देते हैं कहीं ना कहीं, क्योंकि प्रैक्टिस नहीं होती. सो ओनली द लैक ऑफ प्रैक्टिस बेसिकली कॉजेज यू दिस लॉस ओवर हियर. ठीक है, तो द नेक्स्ट कॉन्सेप्ट दैट यू हैव टू बी वेरी केयरफुल अबाउट, आपको बहुत अच्छे से पढ़ना है. इफ यू विल पिक अप योर हॉल वेरिएंट, बहुत अच्छे से ये कॉन्सेप्ट गिवन है. इसके ग्राफिकल वे, डेफिनेटली जो ग्राफिकल मेथड है ऑफ इनकम एंड सब्स्टिट्यूशन इफेक्ट, दैट हाउ डू यू शिफ्ट द imaginary budget line, how do you compensate the consumer to find the income effect or the substitution effect. Graphical agar samajh aagi presentation, if you get through it, if you become a pro in graphical movement of those questions, so you will be able to solve each and every question of income and substitution effect. So if you go through the whole variant workbook also, you will find a lot of questions associated to that, and you should be practicing them as well. So you should be very clear about the Hicksian way of demand and the Slutsky equation. You have to do a lot of practice. So two things I have suggested you here. You will read it from variant and do questions associated with that from the workbook of variant. And graphical presentation, you should definitely know. You should know how the budget lines shift when we talk about income effect. What is the movement if we have to move points A to B and call it income effect, which movement is that? So you should be able to trace the income effect. You should be able to trace the substitution effect. If you do that, very easily you will be able to solve questions. So graphical presentation is very important from this portion. And if you face any kind of problem, in this portion, you can definitely come and ask your doubt. We can help you in understanding and taking your doubts if you contact us on the number shared on the screen below, 7880107880. All right. So this is the next thing. Now let's move on to the next thing. The next topic out of demand and consumer theory is revealed preference theory. So revealed preference theory is very easy. It is the direct kind of questions come from this portion. If you will pick up IIT JAM 2025, you will see, I think it was question number 23 in the paper, in the master question paper. The question was very direct, that what is the objective? What does your theory of revealed preference tells you? So you should be very clear. You should have to know how do you check whether it is in accordance with WARP, whether it is fulfilling the conditions of WARP or strong axiom of revealed preference or weak axiom of revealed preference. You should know their definitions. You should know how to check whether the bundles are fulfilling that or not. So you have to do practice by taking different examples, that if a bundle is preferred over A and B, whether it is going to be consistent according to WOP. So violation check karna aana chahiye. So if you know that, so very easily you will be able to do question. Or the second kind of question that you need to do from revealed preference theory is direct conceptual questions. Since there are a lot of assumptions, since there are a lot of if and but in the revealed preference theory, तो एग्जामिनर के लिए बहुत इजी हो जाता है स्टूडेंट्स को एक assumption को ट्वीक करके क्वेश्चन बदलना. तो इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि आपको सारी की सारी इफ एंड बट्स इस थ्योरी के पता हो. यू शुड नो कि हाउ डू वी चेक द वायलेशन ऑफ वॉप. What are the conditions are required if I'm checking strong axiom of revealed preference? What is the next step that I need to take if something is not getting consistent? So only when you know the theory in detail, तो बहुत easily आ जाएगा. If you're following Snyder and Nicholson, तो Snyder and Nicholson की book में this topic is given in a very wonderful way. Other than that, Varian में also you will find this topic. So you can use either Nicholson or Varian to study revealed preference theory. Because in both of the two books, it is given from basic to advanced. So you don't have to just rely on the basics of revealed preference, because if you only do basics, you will never be able to attempt questions which are coming from a little advanced side. Okay, so revealed preference theory is that. So you should know the merits of that, you should know the limitations of that, and direct questions will come on, or basic numericals will be asked, which can be very easily solved over there. Okay, so WOP and strong axiom को बहुत अच्छे से, the conditions for them you will definitely do. I would like to add one thing over here is कि exam में when you get to see the actual bundles, okay, and the prices, always construct your affordability tables. Always go with constructing affordability tables and then build the revealed preference relations. जब भी ऐसा करोगे, बहुत easily test को you can check whether it is good, whether it is consistent according to WOP, whether it is consistent according to SAP or not. तो हमेशा याद रखना affordability tables को calculate करना. All right. So revealed preference, you can expect one question on an average in IIT, JAM, GATE or CUET PG. But the questions come very direct, very easy, so you don't have to worry about it. Up. The most important portion over here is that what kind of questions come, what are they trying to test in you, and how do you need to attempt them. So mainly you will find numericals on elasticity, as I have already told you, consumer equilibrium के ऊपर. So if you work on this thing कि utility functions लिख लिए सबके, और फिर सबके equilibrium state कर दिए और उनको बार बार रिवाइज कर लिया, तो बहुत easily numerical कर पाओगे. स्लट्स की इक्वेशन का क्वेश्चन आता है, प्राइस इफेक्ट कैलकुलेट करना, सब्स्टिट्यूशन इफेक्ट, और इलास्टिसिटीज डिफरेंट और उनके साइन एंड इंटरप्रिटेशन. ग्राफ बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस आर अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कैटेगरी इन माइक्रोइकोनॉमिक्स, जिसमें if a graph shift, what is happening? If a graph tilts, like rotate हो गया एक एक्सिस पे, तो क्या होगा? ग्राफ की शेप मैटर करती है. स्पेशली माइक्रोइकोनॉमिक्स में सबसे ज्यादा मैटर व्हाट डज इट मैटर इज द इंटरसेप्ट ऑफ द ग्राफ ऑन द x and y axis. So you should have knowledge about that. What do you mention on x axis, what do you mention on y axis should also be in your knowledge. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए that I just know how to draw a graph but I don't know what will be there on x axis or y axis, because if a question related to the slope of that graph comes up, how will you interpret that? Okay, so if we go by the past trends, if we talk about IIT JAM or CUET PG also, they do focus on mathematics based questions, right? पहले अगर मैं बात करूं तो DSC purely mathematical questions they used to ask. JNU used to ask concept-based questions. But now since CUET PG is a mixture of both DSC and JNU, so you have to work on now theory as well as numerical questions. GATE के पेपर में माइक्रो के इस पोर्शन से, डिमांड एंड कंज्यूमर से, एप्लीकेशन बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस बहुत ज्यादा आते हैं. मतलब थ्योरी दी होगी और उसके थोड़ा एडवांस में पूछा होगा. लाइक इफ दिस हैज हैपेंड टू द कंज्यूमर तो क्या होगा, वेदर ही विल बी shifting, whether he will be consuming same, what do you think is true out of this, what do you think is false out of it. इस टाइप के क्वेश्चंस आते हैं जिसमें implications बहुत ज्यादा सोचनी पड़ती हैं. तो unless and until if your concepts are not clear तो आप उन टाइप के क्वेश्चंस को अटेम्प्ट नहीं कर पाओगे. बहुत जरूरी है. तो फॉर्मूलाज बिल्कुल टिप्स पे याद कर लो इस मॉड्यूल से, ग्राफ टिप पे याद कर लो, न्यूमेरिकल्स की प्रैक्टिस कर लो, कॉन्सेप्ट्स की क्लैरिटी ले लो कि इफ समवन आस्क यू एज सुन एज यू वेक अप, इफ समवन आस्क यू कि टेल मी इफ you have two perfect substitutes, what will be the form of their utility function? You should know. It will be what it will be. You should know that it will be linear. Complements में min x, y. And what will be their equilibrium points? आपको पता होना चाहिए. If I ask you draw the graph, right? Draw the graph of this, draw the graph of that. Price elasticity का formula बताओ. What will be the sign of income elasticity? Without even thinking much, without even validating your answer, if you can answer me correctly, it means your concepts are clear. Okay? So you should know the interpretation. Graph may always work on the interpretation. Don't just work on the graph, like drawing the graph, but also work behind the interpretation of each and every graph as well as its slope. So it's very important for you to work on that. And what is very important to excel in your microeconomics portion? Formulas daily revise karo, if not daily, weekly, because many students just do them and leave them and then they think कि by magic मेरे को एग्जाम में याद रहेगा even if I revise 1 week before. नहीं होता. Once you do the formulas daily, you will become very comfortable with them. तो formulas को बहुत daily basis पे you have to revise. ठीक है. न्यूमेरिकल्स यू हैव टू सॉल्व फ्रॉम पास्ट ईयर पेपर. ऐसा नहीं है कि कॉन्सेप्ट पढ़ा माइक्रो में एंड यू स्ट्रेट गो टू द एग्जाम हॉल. नहीं, you have to do a lot of practice from the past year paper. If you want any past year paper, get any past year paper from us by messaging on 7880107880. Other than that, you can also go and visit our website. We have uploaded papers for free over there as well. Or you can download our app और वहां पे भी आपको फ्री में क्वेश्चन पेपर्स मिल जाएंगे. डायग्राम की प्रैक्टिस बहुत जरूरी है. डोंट ड्रॉ डायग्राम्स इन योर माइंड, ड्रॉ डायग्राम्स ऑन पेपर. ठीक है. उसके बाद लिंकेज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. अगर कोई क्वेश्चन लिंकेज में आ गया तो यू शुड बी एबल टू आंसर. और लॉजिक के साथ सोचो. टिल द टाइम यू डोंट गेट आंसर टू एवरी वाई ऑफ योर क्वेश्चन, डोंट मूव फॉरवर्ड. Just don't keep learning the definition. Just don't do rote learning for formulas, but also think why this is happening, why the budget line is shifting, why is the equilibrium getting better or maybe bad than before. Okay, so in MA entrance examination, the clarity of concepts will always beat the rote learning or the cramming behind them. So do your conceptual clarity, do practice of past year papers, practice diagrams very easily, solve a lot of numericals and revise daily or weekly. Daily se means regularly, not only just once and then before the exam. If you do this, I can promise you that you will be able to solve maximum or 100% of the questions from your microeconomics. This is the key to solve a lot of questions from microeconomics. All right. I hope this video was very useful for you. If you want to, if you have some suggestions, if you want me to discuss other topics of MA entrance examination related to your MA entrance examination exam, you can write down in the comment box that ma'am, please help me study this, और मुझे ये टॉपिक समझा दो या इस टाइप के क्वेश्चंस करवा दो. So your suggestions are always welcome. Comment box में जाके बताओ what all kind of videos, what all kind of learning you want from my side for your MA entrance examinations which are upcoming in the month of February 2026. March 2026 and moving forward. And if you have any doubt, you can feel free to contact our team on this number. या फिर comment में भी अपना doubt drop कर सकते हो and our team will help you. I will be helping all my dear students who are going to sit for IIT JAM Economics, GATE Economics, CUET PG Economics in 2026 by making such important videos on the preparation side, on the type of questions that you can expect. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you can get regular updates about it. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Like and share it with your friends so they can also benefit from this video. I will see you again in the next video.